You are a Wisconsinite.
Yes, I am.
So
Really?
Yes.
so you so Bracken's in Milwaukee right
Okay.
now. I'm from Green Bay, went to grad school in Milwaukee, then lived in Madison. Now I'm here in Minneapolis. But you pretty much lived in Wisconsin your whole life, right? Where are you from?
I'm from West Dallas.
No, I'm sitting in West Dallas right now.
You're a Dallas?
Get out of here.
Dallas?
Yeah, I
You're
live in
a
West Dallas.
stallion?
A West Stallion.
Yeah, see, we can say that to each other because we're from West Dallas.
Did you go to high school there?
I did.
What year were you?
97.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So we didn't overlap.
Well,
No.
which West Dallas?
Nathan Hale.
So I coached girls track at Hale when I
Mm.
was in the area.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, I would have been after your time as well. I was 01, but and I coached, I don't know, what year was it? 2007, 2008, maybe into 9. And
Okay.
Brakken, you coached. Where did you coach down there?
Central.
Central.
Okay.
I went to Central.
Okay. Very cool.
What a small world.
Yes, really. It really is.
Well, West Dallas isn't very big. Do you guys? I mean,
No,
you guys could have
but
been neighbors.
well, if I went to Hale and he went to Central, we probably were.
They've
Because-
rezoned now. Now my
Oh, they
kids will
have.
go to Hale.
Oh, really? Okay.
So we live, City Hall is our backyard.
Okay. Oh.
So State Fair Park area.
Okay. Like right by downtown.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which looks very different from the last time you saw it.
I probably. Yeah, I'm sure it does.
So what part of West Dallas were you from?
So I grew up on Candy Cane Lane.
You did.
Yes.
So I run workouts at Wright.
Okay.
At Frank Lloyd Wright.
Yeah. I always went to
And my
that
daughter
track.
plays soccer at Frank Lloyd Wright.
Really? Oh, that's so cool. That's such a small world.
This is adorable, you guys.
You guys know what, Kirk,
This
are
is
you aware of
adorable.
Candy Cane Lane?
No, but it sounds really nice. Candy Cane Lane.
It's iconic.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
I'm a OG.
So Candy Cane Lane is this neighborhood. What is it, like 3 by 6 blocks or something like that?
Yeah, they've definitely added on. Mm-hmm.
That I don't know how it started, but it just went all in on Christmas decorations, and it's called Candy Cane Lane. They wrap the trees in candy cane wrapping, and it like causes disruption to the traffic because people line up every night as soon as it gets dark and drive up and down Candy Cane Lane, and it's like an area attraction.
Yeah, it was actually started. One man in the neighborhood dressed up as Santa and decorated his house because a boy in the neighborhood had a brain tumor, and so he raised money for to help pay the hospital bills for the family. And then after that was all met, other neighbors started decorating, and then like I was an elf and I would hand out candy. And then we collected money for like the Mac Fund and Children's Hospital. And yeah, it was cool until you're a teenager and people are coming to pick you up because of all the traffic.
You can't get in and out.
And
You're
it's like,
you have to walk out of the neighborhood and get picked up out on Beloit.
Yes, it's like meet me on Oklahoma Avenue.
Yeah.
I was not aware of this special place.
It's a big thing.
Right now it's rocking. This is Candy Cane Lane's prime time.
Not yet.
It's getting going.
After Thanksgiving, it'll kick up.
But you don't live in Wisconsin anymore. So
No.
But it wasn't long ago you and your husband moved you're in Flagstaff now, right?
Yes, correct.
So were you in Wisconsin all the way until moving to Flagstaff?
Yes.
In West Dallas?
No, we lived in Waukesha the last 14 years. Yeah.
Then when did you move to Flagstaff? Recently?
July of 2023. Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I moved back to West Dallas in 19 or 20.
Where did you live? Where did you live? Where did you move?
Well, my wife's from Lake Geneva, so we were out there for a bit.
Nice.
And then we moved to Colorado for 3 years and then back to Lake Geneva.
Where in Colorado?
Colorado Springs.
Okay.
Like the West Dallas of Colorado. I think that's fair.
Uh-huh. There's not a little trash around. Bracken's doesn't feel at home.
I'm like Linus. It just kind of follows me.
So, okay. So, why did you move to Flagstaff, Betsy?
So we moved to Flagstaff because there's like a bunch of different reasons, but mainly because my husband, he does triathlons, and then I run, and we're just he did one in Tempe, and then people were just talking like, oh, you can live in Flag and it has all 4 seasons, and then you can drive 2 hours and you're in warm weather, and it's like, oh, you wouldn't have to take off work and travel half the time. So that was the main reason. We're like, oh, we can be in nice weather but still enjoy the snow. And then we went, and then I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 2021. So the sun is out here more, and that really drew us out, or at least me. Yeah.
Does he do tries professionally?
No.
So you guys moved across the country for a hobby and also MS.
Yeah. Yes,
That's
we did.
impressive.
Well, it was like, like the lifestyle. I feel like we just kind of outgrew, like, oh, let's go to the Packer party this Sunday. And it was just like, what else
Brakken, you
is...
better cancel your Packer party this Sunday.
Not saying it wasn't fun, but
He doesn't have a Packers party this Sunday.
Okay.
I don't
Or
think.
do I?
I don't know. I used to throw them. Continue. Sorry.
I forgot. Yeah, we just kind of outgrew it, and we just we took some lifestyle changes. So like we stopped eating meats and dairy, and then we started just running more. And he was like, "Oh, I think I want to do an Ironman." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then I'm like, "Wow, that's a lot of training afterwards." And then he really enjoyed it, and so he continued to do it, and I just continued to run. And yeah, we have 2 older daughters who are 26 and 23, and so we would all kind of do races, like little 5Ks together. And our youngest one, she did hers, but she got like first place for her age group, which was awesome for her. But then every time after, if she didn't get first place, she was just like, oh, this isn't fun, I don't want to do this. So yeah, it was kind of good.
Wait, you have kids that are 26?
26 and 23 and 11.
Well, I'm going to ask the question I shouldn't ask.
Okay.
How old are you?
I'm 40. I'm 46.
I'm just doing the math here. All right. It's like you look way too young to have 26-year-old children.
Oh, well, thank you. I'll take
You
it.
hear that a lot. I'm sure it's not the first time, but okay.
In a 15-year spread between kids, that's intense.
Yeah. Well, I was married at 20 for 5 years, and then we had two girls, and then it just wasn't. It didn't feel like it was the right thing. Like I felt like, oh, my life's already over because we have the 2 kids, the house, and I'm 24. What have I done? And so I just felt like I needed to discover who I was, and excuse me, and I just needed to figure out who I was, and like with my daughters. And yeah, sorry.
You could do the opposite, which I did. I got married at 40 and I don't have kids yet, but I'm working on it. You could have drug your feet forever. There's the opposite of that too. That exists.
No, that's good to know.
That's good.
I mean,
well, while we're sharing, okay.
My grandkids are going to grow up with Kirk's kids.
That's our hope. Yeah, that's our hope. All right, let's get to business here.
Okay.
But not really business because it's something we do here. So,
okay.
I'm going to preface Betsy Mueller, right? Your last name is Mueller.
It's Mueller. My husband's family spells it.
That's right. My last name does not look like how it's spelled either.
Betsy Mueller.
And Kirk takes delight in mispronouncing it. So now most people think it's pronounced differently. So,
oh, okay.
If you come out of this with Kirk saying your name correctly, that's a big win.
Nice.
It's not true. My wife's side of her mother's side are all Muellers, and they're spelled the same way as yours.
Yeah.
So I really got set up to fail there. But anyways, so Betsy, you were diagnosed with MS a few years back. Okay. Yes. And I don't want to dive into all this right away.
Okay.
We'll come back to it because I want to get to know you as like a human being prior to the diagnosis and then what
Okay.
you're doing coming up, which we'll leave that cliffhanger there. But you think her husband's Ironman training is a lot? You don't know what a lot of training looks like for what Betsy's getting ready to do. That's going to be the cliffhanger. So, walk us through, Betsy. Were you a runner from conception, so to speak, like your inception, like in the beginning, or is this something you picked up later in life?
No, I always ran. I just always was outside growing up, and then my siblings ran, and like in grade school, I ran, and like everybody always got first place in some elementary school run. Well, how I work is I get too nervous and I'm like, I don't want to get disqualified. So I'm going to let this girl go ahead of me so I don't go around the wrong way on the cones. And I got seconds when my whole family got first. So they never let that go. I ran just a little bit in high school.
So was
And
Kurt still there at Hale when you were there?
no.
Ron Kurtz wasn't the coach there?
Oh, no, he wasn't my
Or was
coach.
it
He
Terry
was
Lubinsky?
They were both there, but they weren't my coaches.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. I had Coach Jordan. That sounds familiar or not?
Not
No.
sure.
Okay.
So, could
So
you
did you
have won these races and you didn't because of timidness? Like,
Yeah.
did you think you were you believe you could have won, but wanted to make sure you didn't mess up, so you just chose to follow somebody you most likely could have beaten?
Cor- correct. So I came in second
What
because
about the
I'm
sit and
afraid
kick
of
method?
failing. So I was, what? I'm sorry.
What about the sit and kick method? You just sit right on that girl like a sucker and then you into the finish.
Yeah.
Could have
That
done
was,
that.
yeah. That's what I mean, I was supposed to catch up to her, but I guess I got too tired. So, like, I have there's 6 of us siblings. They all got first except for me.
is this your theme? Are you a rule follower to the
I
extreme
am a rule follower, yes.
and fear of failure to the extreme?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, because I'll have ideas and I'll be like, "Oh, I want to do that." And then I'm like, "Wait, no. Back away. Don't let's I'll think of excuses why I shouldn't."
That's very interesting with what you are going to embark on then, isn't it? This must be tackling fears
It
to the extreme.
it it is because it's I think like having a diagnosis like MS makes it's like I got to a point where it's like, okay, you can you can keep backing out of things, but it MS is trying to tell me something. It's trying to say like, hey, something's going on. Like you got to start living life. You can't keep
Hmm.
being a coward and backing out of it and everything. So it kind of gave me this like, you don't want to live with regret. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So
So still bringing us back then. So to the running. Oh,
okay.
um, you ran early. You ran through
Mhm.
high school. Were you
Not
an athlete
really.
of? Oh, you didn't.
Well, I ran in high school, but then again, so like I was top freshman. So then I like when sophomore year came, it was like I don't want to I don't want to join because then what if what if I'm not top freshman and then it's like I lost, I failed. So
Hmm.
instead of that, I just was like, well, some people aren't joining, so I'm not going to do it. That way I'm not failing at it.
Mhm.
But
You
I'm
know what?
holding.
Actually, that's interesting you say that. So my father was a state champion in high school cross
Okay.
country. And he was always like my idol. I'd go watch his road races and stuff and bike along him when he ran. And he had these newspaper clippings in a scrapbook that, DeWindt and company wins state and da da da. And I really admired him. Then when it came for my first opportunity to run as well, I was so afraid of not being like
Mm,
him that I had to be begged to go out for anything. I would go win the high school gym class mile, but then I was so nervous and afraid to fail. I didn't go out for track in middle school at all. And everybody's like, "What are you doing?" And I was so scared of that exact thing you're talking about. So I actually
mhm.
get it. And the worst thing happened to me in my first race when I decided to is I went out so hot and fast and didn't know what I was doing and basically walked across the finish line and got passed by like 3 people, and my worst fear came true, and I ripped the Band-Aid off, and I realized it wasn't as bad as I thought, but nonetheless, so I can relate to you on that.
Mhm.
I get it.
Yeah.
So when did you come back to it?
So did you replace that?
Did I what?
Did you replace running with a different sport,
Um,
or did you just do social stuff?
Social.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't probably the best choices, but
What kind of choices were you making?
not the, hanging out at the park.
What were you doing at the park, Betsy?
Um,
That depends which park you're at.
yeah, exactly. Greenfield.
Greenfield Park.
Yeah.
Greenfield and McCarty, there's just nothing good happening there.
Right, exactly. Yes.
You don't wanna air your high school dirty laundry on this
Well,
podcast?
just, playing hacky sack.
That's how
That
you know you
phrase
were a
is
'90s kids.
That phrase has never been said on this podcast.
Oh no. Oh.
So that's nothing to be ashamed of, a good old-fashioned game of hacky sack, but I know the groups in my school who sat at the park and played hacky sack, and it just wasn't hacky sack going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Mhm. So when did you find running again?
So I just kind of ran to stay in shape on and off, like every day, and I would feel better when I would run. And so it was mostly just, like, 2 to, 3 miles, maybe 5 miles. And then it wasn't until our oldest daughter, she did a half mile at she went to lacrosse, and so she did, I can't think of the name of the run, but she did a half marathon, and I'm like, oh, can I join you? And then it just brought back that feeling of racing again, and I'm like, oh, I like it, but I don't like, I like the feeling of just like a community, but the racing part, it's just like, because I feel like, oh, if I'm racing, I gotta win it. So
Mhm.
I just have to go in with a different, and it's like, I'm not going to. So I just have to go in with a different mind frame of like, this brings me joy. So and I'm doing something uncomfortable, which I need to do that.
How long
So
did it take before you could approach it and say, this is just going to be fun? Like, how long did it take from you telling yourself that to when you actually could enjoy it at a race without worrying about performance?
that's a really good question. I'm gonna say, so we did I don't know if it's pronounced Imogene or Imogene. People pronounce it. It's in Colorado, and it's in Telluride and Ouray or something like
Hooray.
that. Ouray, yes. And
Mhm.
so it's like 17 miles, and you run up the mountain, and then you run down the mountain in Telluride. Well, I was really scared because I never ran like on a mountain to another mountain before, and I was thinking it's going to be like this trail run where I'm just like in the forest getting lost. So I was kind of afraid of like getting lost there and then running into some animal. So I was like, I'm
You're a
just
worst case scenario person.
yes,
Just I'm here.
I gotta protect myself from like so so that's what I did. I was like, okay, this is just for fun. This is gonna be a cool experience. And then I really felt that. But then when I actually ran, I did really well. I got like fourth place out of my age group, maybe 100 out of the women so I did. It was just like, oh, it's almost like I had to trick my mind
Mhm.
to well, no, I don't think I had to trick my mind. I just think I really was going to go out there and enjoy it and have that whole experience of running to a mountain and then running to another mountain. But then the course was shortened because a road like got washed away. So um, it just, yeah, I don't know. I just was running down. I'm like, wow, I really love running downhill, and I didn't think I would, and it just kept passing people, passing people. I passed my husband, and he's like, "Why didn't you say hi?" I was like, "I didn't want you to slow me down because I was on such a high. Like, this is great." And I'm really surprised I didn't fall because it was just like, but yeah, I hope that answered your question. Like, so I
Well,
guess only a few months ago.
That was just a few months ago?
Yeah, that was in September.
So the answer is years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think had you been on the trails before that, like racing?
I just a little bit, something in like kettle marine.
Okay. It's just there's something like experience oriented that's way less like objective on the trails. So you can feel a little hidden, right, with the result. Like it doesn't matter my pace. It was on the trails. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right. So there's like a
Mhm.
little less pressure there kind of because
Yes.
the metrics are subjective. And so they can be a little more approachable for people who are like super intimidated by the objectivity of road running or the track, right? It's like I can
Mhm.
hype. This doesn't matter. This course had 5,000 feet of gain and loss. Like, nope, it doesn't matter what my time was, right?
Mhm.
Question: Why were you so scared of not taking first place? Did you get pressure put on you, or was this all self imposed?
Oh, in grade school?
Sure, all the way
Or
up until yeah,
the
whenever. The-
Well, I mean, I would get first place, but it wasn't like I think, like, I just didn't want if I didn't get first, then I felt bad about myself for not getting first, if that makes sense. Like, I felt like, "Oh, then I'm not good enough for."
Hmm. But your other siblings weren't like, Betsy, you suck. You took second place. We're not gonna play with you today, or
Oh,
whatever.
I'm sure they were, like, we all got first, but you got second." It's like, "Yeah, I know." Thanks, noted, but
Well, like Bracken, for example, Bracken's basically the only non-professional athlete in his family.
Oh, really?
Talk about pressure. Sure,
Wow.
right? To a
Yeah.
certain extent. So there's like, there's pressure that others be like, dad could be like, Bracken, if you're not a pro athlete, I'm going to be disappointed in you, which wasn't the case. Pete would never say that. Or the self imposed, which was my version, which was just like, I don't know why, but now I feel like I can't go out there and lose because that would just like disappoint everybody. And nobody really gets disappointed in that, right? If they're so I was just curious if it came from somewhere or not.
You know what? I forgot the question. Sorry.
I was just asking if your fear of failure was actually like some like you felt pressure from the family or like others.
No, it came from within. So I repeated 2nd grade, and so I don't, like, tell anybody that, but,
It'll stay between us 3.
what was that?
It'll
So
stay between us
so
3.
so I so, like, going through that as a child at a young age, it was just like a traumatic experience because it's like you have these group of friends and then they move on, but then you're stuck at 2nd grade again. And my parents were like, "Do you want to go to, you can go to this Catholic school?" But in my mind, I'm like, "I'm not going to church every day." So
Mhm.
I went back to the school that I had to repeat, and then like the teacher had mentioned that there's 2 people that were repeating 2nd grade, so everybody was, like, watching to see who they were, and I was, like, standing by the 3rd grade door because I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I don't know what to do," and then the bell rang, and I'm like, "I gotta walk to the 2nd grade now," so, like, I did that, and then it was just, like, so humiliating, and
Mm.
then, like, it's not like people were super nice after that. It was just, like,
Mhm.
the 3rd grade girls I weren't friends with anymore, and then there's boys that just made fun of me all the time, like, even though I ended up having a lot of friends and I'm still friends with a lot of people today, it was just like that. I guess that's where it came from, so
We
That is a
got there.
yeah,
difficult thing
you
to deal
got
with.
it.
Mhm. That's interesting though. I mean, that's yeah, I could see how that would absolutely be. Um so let's fast forward then. So you get into adulthood, you're running
Mhm.
3, 4, 5 miles for years, it sounds like, sort of in that spot. When
Yeah.
did you start? So Betsy is part of like the Matt Fitzgerald crew, right? Like your
Mhm.
coach is Matt Fitzgerald. We've had
Correct.
Matt on the podcast 3 times, I think.
Nice.
I think
Three.
3.
Oh.
Um, by proxy with Diane Mueller, who is an athlete I work with. and obviously he's quite involved, and you know Diane as well.
Yes. Mhm.
She speaks very highly of you, of course.
Oh, she's so nice.
Um, Obviously, you went from 3 to 4 to 5 miles ish a day to moving to Flagstaff, working with one of the best running writers in the country, and immersing yourself, right? Can you just like sort of help me understand how you got from point A to point B?
Sure. So when we moved here, we're like, okay, we're all going to do something that makes us feel uncomfortable. Like I had to find a running coach. Our youngest daughter took dancing, still does. My husband found a new coach for triathlons, and then so when I was trying to find a new coach, I'm like, oh, what's this dream run camp? It's like right by our house, and so then I emailed him and I said, oh, can I join Dream Run Camp, but can I not stay there? And I didn't tell him I was his neighbor yet because I'm like, if he says no, I don't want to run into him and be like,
Yeah.
hey, remember I said if I could join? So he was just like, sure, let's talk. Why don't you come over tonight? There's an event. And I'm like, oh, okay, wow. So then I went over and I'm like, oh, this is just, I'm a little shyer. So I was just like, it was like a live event. And I'm like, he's introducing me to people. And I'm like, I just want to crawl out of here because I just felt so uncomfortable. But it was a me thing. It wasn't them. Um, But then he invited me and my husband Chris and our daughter Vivian over like 2 days later. He's like, I'm having a pizza party. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go have a pizza party at Matt Fitzgerald's house. Like, okay. But then I told him what I wanted to do and he didn't like talk me out of it, like, hey, well, maybe you should, try out marathons again or something. Instead, he just said, is this a feeling you have inside? And I said, yeah. And he was just like, okay. And I'm like, okay, like I'm waiting for you to talk me out of it. And then he didn't. And then he's like, all right, I haven't coached anyone who wants to do this, but we can work together and figure it out. And yeah. So I was just at his house last night going over going over the next steps. So which is
We're almost going to get to what you're about to do, but I want to ask.
okay.
Um, so moving to like, how much were you running before walking in? And when? Okay, first of all, when did you walk into Dream Run Camp for the first time with Matt? When was that?
That was last July. No.
So a year and a half ago
Yeah.
ish.
2023 July.
Okay. So how much running were you doing before this? Before you walked in the door that day? Like how much a week, or just so we have some context or
Probably
perspective?
like 15, 20 miles a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not train. We call it like, were you exercising versus training? Like I'm going to go out the door and run without any real purpose for the day. We call that exercising here versus like, I'm going
Uh,
to go run intervals today, or I'm going to do this. Like what kind of running were you doing?
well, I was working with the coach, so
I
I
was-
I was doing like intervals and whatnot, whatever she had me doing, and I did CrossFit a lot also, but like my husband was like, "Why don't you try triathlons?" And I really didn't want to, but I was like, "Okay, I'll." Like he bought me all this stuff, and I'm like, I just really don't want to do this. I don't. I took swimming lessons again. I mean, I was working with a coach, so I guess I was maybe I was running a little more. I just don't remember offhand. I'm comparing it to now, so I was running
Mhm.
less than I am now, so it's hard to think of.
Okay. So, yeah, notably less than you are now. And then what
Yeah.
was my last question about, all of this? Okay. So, before we get to what you're about to do, the last question I have is with your MS diagnosis and what really sort of started all of this and why we're having this conversation today. And I want you to um, help the audience understand first and foremost when were you diagnosed, and what were the symptoms you were having, and then also like what is multiple sclerosis? Like I think a lot of people don't know exactly, so if you could walk me through that, like when did that happen, how were you feeling before getting diagnosed, and then what is it?
Okay. So I was diagnosed in August of 2021, and I would say a few months before, I was feeling just kind of odd and just maybe a little unbalanced, but nothing like I thought I had to go to the doctor for anything. And um, I guess in August, I slowly started like getting these odd symptoms, like half of my face was turning numb and the top of my head and like right here. But then I was like, well, that's odd. Maybe I have like a sinus infection. I don't know. And
Mm.
then it just kind of kept getting worse. And then it was like the inside of my mouth was numb, but it was only on the left side of my face. So then I went to the ER because we were going to go on vacation in a few days. And that's when they found lesions in my brain and told me that I had MS. And I would, like you could just tell they felt really bad for me. But in my mind, I was like, what's MS? Like,
Mhm.
okay, I didn't really know because I don't think I knew anyone at the time who had it, or has it. And so, um, after my husband and I went to see the neurologist, like, the next day, it just happened to work out that way, and I still have the same neurologist just because he's just really good and I trust him, so I do come back to Wisconsin for that.
Mm.
Um But, like, then looking back further, I would have these things where, like, my arm would be numb, or I would just, like, trip over, like, my foot when I'm running and stuff, and I'm like, "Oh, there's nothing there, but I must have tripped over something," and, like, just these really odd things. Um, so multiple sclerosis is when, like, the myelin sheath, wraps around the nerve, and that protects the nerve, and so what multiple sclerosis is there's B cells in our body, and the B cells attack this sheath, this myelin sheath that protects the nerve. So if that myelin, I'm sorry, if the B cells will attack the sheath, and so then the nerve will be exposed, and then the messages aren't getting through correctly. So
Mm.
sometimes that messes with people's eyesight where they're not able to see. Sometimes it messes with like their walking, um, numbness, tingling, cognitive, everything, fog brain, just these really odd symptoms. And also multiple sclerosis is the central nervous system, which is the brain, the spinal cord, and your nerves. Um, so I had to have what is it called? Some steroids to try to get the feeling back. And we did go on this vacation because I didn't want to disappoint our youngest daughter, and I didn't want to tell people because I was still learning about this disease. But so I had to take like a certain amount, I think 25 pills of steroids every day for 5 days, and then that didn't work. And so then that's when I started getting really scared because it just like heat really made um, it just made it worse. It felt like my head was swollen, but it wasn't. And it was only the left side of my face. And I don't know if any of you had to ever have lidocaine or anything from the dentist, but it's like that's how it felt like in my mouth. So I would accidentally bite my tongue, and it's just like the worst feeling because you don't know that it like you're doing it. It's almost like you're talking, then all of a sudden you bite it. It's like, oh, that hurts.
Mm.
Um, so basically, I wasn't getting better. And we waited a few weeks. Then we went back to the neurologist, and I had a MRI, and it showed that there was this lesion that got a little bigger, and it was by my brainstem. So the doctor said that he wanted me to do, now I can't think of what they're called, plasma exchanges. So that basically what that is there's one a needle in one arm, a needle in each arm, but one is taking out your plasma, and then one is putting plasma in your body. So then, like during that whole process before, it was just I guess I mean my husband knows this, but I was really down and depressed, but I didn't want people to know because I didn't think I really knew. But like, I didn't wanna talk about my MS, and I only told, like, a handful of family because I was just afraid. I was afraid of, again, like, shit, I failed myself, and, like, I can't fix this. There's no hiding from it. And then I thought, if I get worse, I definitely can't hide it, because if I can't walk, or if I can't see, then it's, oh, what happened? Oh, so that like all these thoughts were just, that's all I would think about all day. And after I finally got these plasma exchanges, the feeling started slowly coming back. And so then once it finally came back is when, like, I realized, like, I can't go on like this. Like, I have to I have to move forward. I have to do things. I can't sit here and feel sorry for myself. Maybe this is what MS is telling me. Like, you're always hiding from stuff. You're always afraid of failing. But even though I would always teach my older two daughters, like, when you fail, that's the lesson. But, like, I never took my own advice.
Mhm.
I mean, of course, I'm not going to tell them that. But um, so once I finally, like, the numbing went away, the feeling came back. I don't know how many days after that, my husband's was like, "Hey, do you want to? Let's do a marathon." And I was like, "All right, let's. I'll do a marathon. I'll do a marathon. This is good. This will be good for me." And then it just made me realize, like, wow, I don't want to. Life is short, and, like, I don't want to wake up someday and not be able to walk and think I should have done that marathon. I should have, walked around the block more. I should be outside. All these simple things that I feel like everyone kind of takes for granted, including myself, that it could be taken away from me at any time. So I just felt like I just want to keep going and going until, like, my body says, like, okay, you're good. You've done enough. So,
Wow.
yeah.
When you, when you were diagnosed that day,
Mhm.
did it set in when you were told, like, did you understand the gravity of the situation initially, or was it a delayed onset, so to speak?
It it was I don't it was delayed because I felt like the numbing wasn't as bad as it was at the ER. Like, after that, that's when it got worse, and it got worse. So then it was like, well, shoot, I'm supposed to get better because I'm taking these steroids. Why am I getting worse? Why is the feeling going away? Like, and then I was really afraid to, when I would wake up, I would, like, do a check-in, like, okay, I can feel my feet. Am I going to be able to walk? And like, that's what I did every day, because I was just so afraid. And so that fear kept, like, I just wasn't there yet. Like, so it just kept getting worse. Like, I thought I was going to get worse because this was something I just was so not expecting. Like, I didn't even accept it. Like, I told my neurologist, I was like, I think I maybe had COVID, and it didn't. Like,
Mhm.
he was super nice because he was like, I'm 100% sure this is MS, but I want you to be sure. So then I got a spinal tap, and all the markings came back MS. So then I was like, okay,
Mhm.
this is MS. Because I think, oh man, I want to say, like, a few years before this, like 3 years, I decided to get preventative. Like, I don't want to take pills for the rest of my life. I want to just be able to, like, enjoy life and have fun. I don't want to be like, oh, I have to go to the doctor, pick up my pills when I'm in my
Mhm.
60s or 70s. And it was just so weird because then, like, I don't know, a week later or so, all of a sudden I'm in the ER and my half of my face is numb. And I had these goals of, like, going to, I'm not going to remember the name, the Camino, and going, that's that walk, St. James walk from across Spain. And
Okay.
it's like a, what was that? Oh, sorry. The, so,
I've heard of it.
Okay. So like you're a pilgrim and you walk and you're supposed to have maybe like hopefully have a spiritual experience. So I'm like, I'm going to do that. I'm not the type to write down goals and like I wrote down these goals I wanted to do and then like a few weeks later it was like bam, you have MS. And so I was just like, but I have these goals. I have these things and then it just yeah. So
So
it kind of went down. Yeah,
what
sorry.
was your prognosis then? What kind of roadmap are you given with that diagnosis? How does that change your future initially?
So when I saw my neurologist, he said, and the numbing wasn't coming back, he said sometimes it takes, a few days, a few weeks, and it can take up to a year. And he said, but if it's, over a year, it's pretty much that that it's not going to come back. Like that nerve is damaged to its full. And so I think that's what really freaked me out and scared me is because I was like, well, it's been a few days, it's been a few weeks, and it's just getting worse. So then
Mhm.
I just thought I was going to get worse. I don't know if that answered
So
your
so with MS, just so I understand, is is MS undefeated? Meaning, is the writing like with MS? Is this something like, for example, with which is a very different disease, but let's say HIV. In the 80s, you got it, and it was like 5 years. Good luck. Now you can get HIV and live a long, healthy life, and not even worry about it. Let's say in quotes compared to previous, right? Because
Mm,
medicine has come so far.
mm,
So it's not the same diagnosis it was 30 or 40 years ago. It's like, hey, you have HIV, we can hopefully live a healthy, normal life still.
right.
Is MS that way today, or what is the long term prognosis there?
It is like that because I think it's like 30, 40 years ago, they didn't have medication. And so that's why people would progress so fast. And they used to tell people don't exercise. And now they tell people move and exercise. And now there's, I think, like 14 or 15 um, medications you can take to, like, my medication depletes all my B cells. So I don't have any B cells. So these B cells can't attack the myelin sheaths in my brain, but I can still have like these symptoms, like pseudo flares, where the pseudo flares it'll be like an old flare, but it's just like maybe I ate some too much sugar or something, or I didn't get good sleep, and it'll just kind of pop up, but then it leaves the next day. But sometimes these pseudo flares can worsen, and so then that can damage whatever for good, I guess. So,
So what's the accompanying side effect of not having B cells?
um, my immune system's just compromised, so I can get sick easily, or I can get sick easily, and I'll just stay sick longer. It'll take me
Okay.
longer to recover, things like that.
So, is there a chance that the medication and the treatment protocol could have you feeling similar to how you feel today in 10 or 15 years? And there's also a chance that it could worsen because of flare ups. Is that how I'm understanding it?
Mhm. They just don't know because of all the diseases I'm gonna get, I was like, "Why did I if you're gonna give me a disease, whoever, it's the disease that, like, everybody's MS is different. You might have the same symptoms, like one might have numbing or tingling on their face, but they're still going to be different. It's almost like because where these lesions land or these flares in our brain, it's going to affect like everybody differently. I don't know if that makes sense. So
Hmm.
it's like so frustrating. So it's like you can have a conversation with another person with MS and it's like, "Oh yeah, I have that too. Oh, you do? Oh, I don't." And it's just like it's just frustrating because it's like, oh, you just wish there was an answer, and then you kinda try to always search for it. So then I was always like, "Oh, what did I do? How did I must have done something to myself." But then it's like, finally, it's just like you surrender and you're like, "No, I just have this horrible thing, and why not? Why" it's not like it's not like I want it, but it's like, well, why wouldn't I? I'm it just happened. So it's it's not like going over like, oh well, you know what, you said you're trying to be preventative, so we'll skip you.
Mhm.
They don't really know what causes it too. So that's why it's like, oh
Hmm.
It's gotta be difficult when the rules are undefined.
yeah, yeah.
So what did that do to your running then, initially?
So at first I would still run, but then I would kind of get overheated because Wisconsin's hot in the summer and humidity is really high. So that always, it's like I would get overheated then, and then it would bring on those symptoms of like
Mm.
this numbing. And I'm like, so I was always afraid, like, oh shoot, is this coming back? Oh, so then I was afraid to walk or to run further because I was afraid I was going to get overheated. But once I finally got out of that, like that depression and then I was just like, okay, I'm gonna keep running. I trained for a marathon, and I did have fun. It was just fun knowing I could do a marathon, and I had this like where I was at a year prior was I was half my face was numb. I was hiding from people, like I didn't want to go out and do things. I just wanted to be with my husband and my daughters, and it, so it was just like this. Running just made me feel it's funny because I was talking to well, just kinda talking about this last night with Matt, like, because he's always like, "How are you mentally?" And I said, "I really don't know what people wanna hear, 'How are you mentally?' Like, with the running, because I don't get that." And he's like, "Well, are you getting anxious? Are you, like, dreading to go out and run? While you're running, are you like, 'I just want this done?'" And I'm like, "No, no, I'm not getting any of that." And he's like, "Okay." And so I'm like, but if I'm not running, sometimes I might feel that way. And then like
Mhm.
running
Mm.
just makes me feel free and just
Makes you
yeah.
feel okay.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
exactly.
not sick.
Yes,
If I
exactly.
can do this, fuck you, MS.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I went through about a sickness in college and I didn't know what it was. And it took away my life for like multiple years.
Mhm.
And the one thing that for me was like, if I can run, I'm okay. Like if I can get out and prove that my body can still like work, everything is okay. It's like your one way to have control over the situation
Exactly.
in a
That's
weird way, right?
mhm. Yes, that's exactly
Do you
it.
feel like that? Like, hey, I can control some things and this is one of them?
Yes, that's exactly how I feel. Mhm.
Yeah. Um, and then we're gonna get I keep saying this, but now we're actually gonna get to what you're gonna do here. Um, physically, the physically and mentally, what has changed with you since the diagnosis? Do you feel like on days you feel no different than you did before the diagnosis, cognitively and physically, or are you different in any ways now versus pre-diagnosis?
I f I feel better now. I feel
Oh,
like, um It I think because I felt like something was off. I felt like I was almost going crazy, but I couldn't explain it to my husband. Like, he would come home from work, and I'm like, "Blah, blah, 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 blah," but he's just like, "Oh, well, whatever." Like, "Oh, maybe it's just this," but I'm like, "Oh, I sound crazy." Like, how do you explain to someone that you feel like you're kind of like losing your balance or it's just such a odd thing to happen to a human body and then to try to explain it to someone. So then I was like, I gotta stop explaining this to him. um and so like that craziness of like what is so like something's wrong but I can't explain it. So then finally when I was diagnosed, it was almost like there was that little relief, like, "Oh,
mm,
okay, there's something there. It's not just me going crazy." So, like, that mental part,
mm,
it, like, feels good not
Mhm.
having to feel that way
mm,
anymore. And just the, I think the physical side, I feel about the same, I guess, with the physical, and
that's great. That's
Yeah.
good. That's a great answer. I didn't know if it had you feel any worse from the condition today as you did 3 years ago or not. So, you've maintained status quo at minimum.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bracken, should we get into what, Betsy's about to do?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited
Yeah.
because I don't have to do it.
Preach. No, this is actually this what we just talked about for 50 minutes,
Oh, sorry.
now that we are getting to know you, puts so much more weight on this endeavor. So what are you about to do, Betsy? What are you
So
working towards doing?
in March 2025, I'm gonna run across the United States.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
Say it one more time so people can really understand.
Okay. So in
Yep.
March
Uh-huh.
2025, this year, I'm gonna run across the United States of America.
That United
Girl
States.
who wouldn't lead a race because she didn't want to get lost
Yeah.
and wouldn't go back out for running because she might not be the best
Yeah.
is choosing something that has an exceptionally high failure rate.
I does
Failure
it?
rate's the wrong word.
It's okay.
Non-completion rate.
Okay. But you know what? I have to at least I have to try it because like that's what I think holds me back is I don't try like I'm like, "Oh, no, you don't want to fail at it." And now it's like I my body's the only thing gonna hold me back. So,
So
Not your mind?
yeah,
I
not my
get the
mind.
concept of this is telling me something. I need to stop holding back, go after it. Why this? Like, was this always something that intrigued you, or did you decide I need something big and this came about?
I think I've always liked the idea of like just traveling, walking, running for a long time and just like enjoying it and seeing things. I think when we lived in Waukesha, I would run a lot in the neighborhoods and I'm like, wow, you really notice things a lot more when you're running and you're not in a car. And then I heard on some podcasts, actually, I believe it was that June before I was diagnosed about this guy who just decided to run across America. And I was listening to his story. I was like, wow, that's really cool. That's awesome. And excuse me, I watched some documentary of some guy, another person who did it, and I'm like, gosh, it's really cool. But then in his documentary, he was showing how cold it was, and I'm like, I get cold easily. I don't want to do that. But then after, yeah, it was weird. After we moved to Flagstaff, I everything just kind of came aligned. Like found Matt as my coach. Then I became part of Dream Run Camp as an ambassador for Matt, and it's just everything came aligned. So this feeling, instead of like shoving it away, like, oh, I maybe I could just do marathons, but then I'm like, well, there's always that disappointment. Like then I'll feel like I have to PR every time, and if I don't, then I'm gonna be like all like, I failed. So, and I guess I didn't think of ultras too much, but with like the sleeping situation, with like not getting enough sleep with MS, I thought I can't go run 100 miles and not sleep
Mhm.
between that. So that's why I thought, well, running across America, you can sleep, you can run. Why not?
So, what was the time between when that first crossed your mind to when
Okay.
you told someone about it?
Maybe 2 months.
Okay. And what got you to that point?
Um,
That's a long time to ruminate.
oh, is it?
Well, maybe for you, it's not.
Well, we wait, I'm sorry. Maybe I misunderstood the question. How long was it in my mind until I wanted to do it, until the plan
Until you
came up?
first told someone
Okay.
about it.
Mm, oh my gosh. Uh, yeah. It kind of just came out when we moved to Flag. Like I always
Okay.
thought of it, and then I had to fill out this form for Matt, like, "Oh, why do you wanna what's your race?" And then I'm like, "Well, I got something crazy, but I'd rather tell you in person." And
Mhm.
then I think Matt I must have actually, no, it was we had my husband's cousin over, and she's like, "What race are you gonna do?" She does triathlons also, like everybody here, just you're a runner, you're a
Mm.
triathlete. It's like, "Oh, okay." But she's like, "What are you gonna do, Bets?" And I'm like, "I'm gonna run across America." She's like, "All right, cool." And I'm just like, "Oh." I was used to someone saying like, "How are you gonna do that? You can't do that." So when she kinda said that, that's when I was like, "Oh, all right." So then I had told Matt, and then that's where, maybe maybe a month that was
And
it. Yeah.
all right, so I'm very fascinated by this because these attempts, these really long attempts fascinate me. Everything
Okay.
from the training for it to the actual execution of it. What kind of vehicles are you bringing with? How are you breaking up your day, fueling, all that kind of thing. That's very interesting. I watch a lot of these on YouTube while I'm training.
Okay.
So, when you first decided this is what I want to do, when you told Matt and he said, "All right, let's do this," ho what is the time frame that you chose for how long it would take to prepare for?
So Matt kind of chose that,
Mhm.
and I think he just one day asked us to come over for dinner, and he was just like, "Okay, let's talk about it because there's going to be a lot of training. You're going to have to eat a lot. You're going to have to eat, like." And I was like, "Okay, I can do that if I'm." And he just sorry, I'm trying to. So he was more the one who said it's probably last October, and then I feel like he said that spring of this year would that would probably be enough time. And then so I've just been training ever since last August, but like probably around October-ish of last year is when he said, "Okay, let's, next spring or this spring,
Mhm.
this is when it'll happen."
So when training for a race of any distance,
Mhm.
the training is just geared towards being able to handle blank percent of the distance or blank percent of the speed or intensity or demands of the race. That kind of goes out the window with
Yeah.
something like this. You can't
Yes.
just say, I can make it 60% of the way in training. I'm going to be fine on race day. That's not a thing
Right.
for transcontinental running.
Mhm.
So, what is the purpose of the training? What's the goal of it? To be ready in what way? How do you know? What are you training towards?
So for me, I just want my body to get used to thinking this is the normal.
Hmm.
So
Mm.
Matt and I, like, we talk about, for instance, like yesterday when we met, he said, "I think you can only train so much for this until you just got to do it." And he was always having me to these points. Like he would always tell me, I'd have these runs, but then it was like these long runs. And once I checked each one off, he was just like, he was kind of waiting for me to be like, "Okay, I didn't like that," or something went wrong, but nothing really ever went wrong. So I was always kind of ahead of schedule. So it was like my long runs was like my first 40-mile run. Like, how am I going to handle that? And so it was good. It went fine. Well, I mean, I was tired and hungry, of course, but
Mhm.
um and now it's to that point where I would do, I think it was like 2 30 miles or two in a row, like one day, 1 30 mile, next day, another 30 mile. Okay, check those off. So now it's like, for example, tomorrow I have two doubles, 18 in the morning, 18 at night or in the evening. And then the next day I'm going to have 18 in the morning, 18 at night, then see how my body handles that. So it's mostly just endurance, just seeing how long I can go for, I guess, and just now it's more just like having aligned more during the week. Like, okay, so now I'm gonna like have two doubles. This is making sense. Two doubles um, and sorry, 2 doubles in a line, if that
Mhm.
makes. And then he just keeps adding on more miles. So I'm sure next week will be 20 miles, because eventually I want to do 40 miles a day. Um, and I'm hoping to do 20 in the morning and 20 in the afternoon. But then again, it can be, just all depends on the day. If it's, 30 that day, that's okay. If it's 47 the next day, great. So I'm not going to be really strict on that, because if it goes wrong, then I don't want to get upset or like, oh,
Mhm.
it's not going by plan. Because, yeah.
Well, this is uncharted territory for Matt as well, I would imagine.
Mhm.
So you're a bit of a guinea pig, probably, in a sense, right? Like,
Yeah.
how many people do you coach to run across America? I have to imagine that list is pretty short,
Yeah.
right?
I'm his first.
I'm not surprised to hear that. So, what is your route?
So my route's on my website, but basically Santa Monica to New York, but going back.
Oh, you're going to New York, not
Mhm.
Florida.
No. So
So
I'm going.
downtown New York City from Santa Monica Pier.
Mhm. Yeah, from California to New York. But I'm going to go through Flag, and then I'm going to go back up towards Wisconsin, so I can go through Wisconsin, which adds on
Oh,
like
so this
200
is
miles.
not gonna be a straight line shot here.
No, that's not how I work. No, it's got to be like, duh, duh. Yeah,
So how far is the total distance when you add it all up? What is it looking like?
3,241, I think.
You know. You don't think. You know.
I
Don't tell
mean,
me I think.
since
You know down to the foot what that is. What if you were to not have these detours to go see your family in Flag, we'll call it, your running family, and then your
Mhm.
family in Milwaukee, how much could you shave off?
I th- I want to say like maybe 400 miles.
Just a casual
I guess if
400 to tack
I
on, yeah.
guess that, yeah, I think it could maybe something like
Wow.
that, or 3,000, so maybe 250.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I assume you're starting in March due to weather. Like, you're gonna make your way across. Weather should be more conducive for that type of effort as you make your way north-ish and east-ish.
Mhm.
Um, what are we looking at for projected finishing window? Like, how many days, months? What are we calculating here?
3 months to,
3 months
yeah.
with
So
the
yeah,
hope to go 40 miles a day for 3 months straight.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. When you say it, sounds like a lot.
Say it positively. Just 40 a day for 3 months.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm doing the math. So what is that? 280-mile weeks for
Mhm.
12 weeks. No big deal.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, as a parent,
Yes.
the logical choice is to go June so
Right.
that
Right.
school isn't an issue, and then summer
Exactly.
vacation for a 12-year-old can be in a camper with the
Right.
family and seeing the state and missing your friends.
Mhm.
But because of weather, you have to start earlier, but you can't start much earlier than March because of the crazy snow you'd be hitting. So,
Right.
I get that, but what's
Mhm.
gonna happen with your daughter?
So there are, so we're gonna take her out of school the last 2 months, or 2 months,
Okay.
2.5 months, and then she's gonna do online school.
And what
So,
is the vehicle going to be?
we
To
just bought a camper actually, and
Ooh.
so we're all excited about that.
A
It's like,
Okay.
camper or an RV? Is it a pull behind or an actual RV?
oh, I guess RV. Our campers pull
It's a
behind.
car.
It's a bus. It's like,
Okay. It has a steering wheel in it. It's not
yeah,
something you hitch up to your trailer. Okay, an
correct.
RV then.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
That
And are they going to be just leapfrogging ahead of you the entire time?
no, so the goal is to um finding campsites, and
Mhm.
then I'll run my 40, and then, they'll stay in place at the campsite in the RV for a few days. So if I run out 40, then I'm gonna have a support vehicle also
Mm.
that's gonna follow me,
Mm.
and that way I don't have to carry all that water and
Mhm.
hydration and nutrition, um, yeah, which our other daughters are gonna be doing, and
So the
other
support
family
vehicle,
members. Yes.
is that big enough for you to sleep in?
No, 'cause I'll go back to the RV.
Oh, they'll drive you back each
So
time?
then, like, if I run the 40, then they'll drive me back, yeah. But we just found out our vehicles it can't our vehicles can't be pulled by this RV for some whatever
Mm.
reason, so we're just still figuring that out,
Okay.
but yeah.
How many how many people are I don't this is bad phrasing, but I don't know how else to say it. How many people are putting their life on pause for you and this adventure?
4?
Your husband and your 2 daughters, your 2
3
older,
2 older and the younger one,
and your
'cause
husband and then you, 5.
yeah. Oh, yeah, I guess me. Yeah.
Yeah, and me, sort of.
Yeah, so
Um, okay. Have you gotten 100% support on this, or has there been any pushback logistically, or mom really, or has it been let's friggin' go?
I mean, I don't know what people back home in Wisconsin are saying, like, if they're like, "Oh," like, they're supportive, but I don't know if they're like, "Oh," just kind of because they haven't seen me
You know how that
running.
is going in
Yeah,
Wisconsin.
yeah, that's I don't
There's a
wanna
little
say
chatting going on. Yep,
exactly,
over their
so
old fashions about what crazy Betsy is up to,
right,
and she's lost
right.
her dang mind. She
Exactly.
must be going through a midlife crisis if she's
Right,
doing this
right.
crap.
Exactly. So, but otherwise, like, my husband was a little, like, iffy at first, like, well, because there's, like, someone does this for MS, and it's a relay, and he's like, "Did you wanna try the relay first?" And I was just like, "No, I don't." But then that was, he was like, "Okay, she's gonna do this, then she's gonna do this." And he's actually been very supportive. He's, like, doing all the logistics stuff, all that stuff that would stress me out, and, most people I think would be like, "Well, let's think about this. Like, really? I'm gonna take
Mhm.
off 3 months of my job, and you're gonna run across America? Like, come on." But I think he knew I was gonna do it either way, so either he backs me up, which has been great. But yeah, I mean, everybody who I talk to in Flagstaff is just like, "Oh, that's great. Oh, wow,
Mhm.
great, cool." Like it's weird because everyone's so supportive. But again, I don't know what people are saying back in Wisconsin.
What does your husband do for work?
He's a cardiologist.
And is
So
he gonna be remote or just taking time away?
so he's going to be remote, not seeing patients, but doing other things like
Mhm.
reading echoes and things like that.
Mm.
So
How does your youngest feel about this?
she's excited. Sometimes she gets a little upset, like, "Oh, we're just talking about mom's run again."
Mhm.
And I'm just
Mm.
like, "Oh, I'm sorry." But we're trying to tell her, like, this is such an adventure. This is not gonna happen again unless she does it later in life or whenever. But it's and she's liking school now, so she's kind of like, "Okay, I gotta leave school, but it's fine." She likes I don't want her to get too comfortable doing the online school though, because
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah,
So being now, I don't know if you're all out vegan, but no meat, no dairy.
correct.
That obviously does impact fueling a bit. It impacts
Yeah,
recovery a bit. Generally, the more things you take out of your diet, the less convenient it is to
yeah,
stack density in foods,
mhm,
and you're going to need a crazy amount of density. So,
mhm.
how are you planning the fueling side of this adventure?
So
Who's
I'm
the chef? What are you doing?
Well, my husband's gonna cook because I'm kind of looking like this is gonna be a vacation from what I normally do too. Like
Mhm.
all the, house stuff. So um I'm working with a nutritionist. She's given me like, drinking like during the actual run, it's gonna
It's
because
gonna be a
yes,
job.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's exactly what Matt said. It's gonna be a job. Like, just putting it like, drinking more nutrition, but still eating, I'm not really into the gels, they kinda make my stomach hurts, but, like, I'm eating food because it's not like a race that I have to hurry up and get
Mhm.
there, so it's like I'm able to eat, um, and it's just, I it's just kinda like I started doing that recently because of the dietitian. She's like, "Start practicing, now," even though before I was like, "Well, no, I thought." I don't know if you guys ever felt this. I felt like, "No, I have to feel like I ran, 10 miles, but I wanna feel like almost like I wouldn't drink," or because I see people all the time running here, they never have water, and
Mhm.
it's so strange to me because this is Arizona, and it's, like, so dry here. So then I'm like, "Well, I'm not gonna run with water," and then I thought, like, after that run, I would feel like, "All right, I feel a little beat up. I feel like I'm strong because I survived that run." But now after working with Abby, she's telling me you know, "No, drink this much, have this much calories, have this," and I started doing that. I'm like, "Oh, wow, what a difference that makes." Because I just feel like, yeah, I can even go further and I'm not feeling like I'm breaking down. So I can
Mhm.
definitely tell that difference and appreciate, taking in all those calories and all the nutrition and
Are
everything.
you finding yourself able to eat during running?
Yes.
Okay.
But I mean, you gotta remember I'm not, like, going super fast. So, like, I'll have, like, a soy butter and jelly sandwich or, like, avocado and wrapped in a pita or something.
Mhm.
So, it's yeah.
So what's the plan for those 40 miles? How are you gonna get them in? Are you gonna vary it day to day, or are you gonna stick to a script or a general theory?
I think it'll mostly be I'll just see how I feel, like, day to day. I mean, since I'll have that support vehicle, it'll be like, oh, maybe my stomach won't feel like a bunch of, bars that day or whatnot. So then I
Mhm.
might feel that support vehicle, like I can run 5 miles and then I can eat and then I can run and then eat and run and eat, see how that works, and then try something different the next day. So there's all these different tools that Matt has taught me with the running and the nutrition too. So and I think if it's like if I stick to a strict plan and I don't follow it, if it doesn't work one day, then I don't have that, "Oh, man, I failed." It's like, "Oh, no, I'll just try this or I'll do this."
Mhm.
So, and yeah.
You haven't said the word walk once yet.
Oh, okay.
You've said run exclusively. Uh, you haven't said walk. Is that part of this thing? And what's the strategy there? Is this a run exclusively, or is there strategized walking in here? Like, what are you really looking at? Is what I'm kind of wondering. What is your hope there?
No, there will be walking.
Right.
So I mean, so to prevent from getting injuries, I'm gonna walk up the hills because I find myself now when I'm running up hills, I'm like very slow motion. It's like I might as well walk because I'm going so slow. And I don't want to, hurt my knees or injure myself. So it's like, why not just walk up the hills?
Mhm.
And then like if one day I'm tired, Matt has taught me to do. I really like this one. It's like my favorite. Run 8 minutes or yeah, no, run 7 minutes, walk 3 minutes. And that one is great because then it feels like the whole workout's like 10 minutes, but really it's like 40 miles. But it's like, it's like, oh, 10 minutes. Oh, now I get to walk. Oh, now I got to run. oh,
Mhm.
I've finished. And then it's like, oh, gotta keep going. But in my mind, it's broken up so small.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I would imagine you're gonna be playing a lot of games like that out
Yeah,
there, almost
yeah,
constantly.
yeah.
What sort of pace, like, do you envision, like, the pace range of the running look like for you for something like this? Like, of course, you're not gonna be running near your capability as far as pacing or effort goes.
Yeah.
Like, what would be a I'm just trying to do the math on, like, how long each day is gonna take of running if it's 40 miles for you. So what
Mhm.
pace are you, like, looking at around when you're running?
Probably like a 10-minute mile.
About 10?
Yeah. But it's gonna be
Oh,
different because 'cause I've been training in altitude, so it'll I gotta remember that when I'm
yeah,
not
it'd
in
be like a
altitude.
7-minute mile.
Yeah, because I don't want
Yeah,
yeah.
easily. Yeah. Um, okay, so Bracken asked the question why this, and you sort of answered that. Um, why? I'm gonna ask why again. Like, you have a website,
Mhm.
and you are hoping to make this bigger than just yourself.
Correct.
What does that look like?
So so when I was diagnosed and I thought like, "Oh, if this is only gonna get worse," and then when I realized, "Oh, wait, I can get better from this." And the fear of, like, telling people about this disease, because I felt like they were gonna look at me and wait like, "Oh, you're not gonna walk someday." And it's just like, well, that's just the stereotype behind it, and the fact that, actually exercising and just moving your body is really important, and so it's like I wanna bring this awareness to people with MS that, hey, you can take any step, you can do, if it's running, walking, whatever exercise, that we can still do this and that you can be open and honest about this disease. Um, my husband and I and, sorry, my husband and I also started a nonprofit so that after my race, well, right now we're trying to raise money for this race, but then after my race, we want to raise money for other people with MS who maybe can't afford to do races, or if they want to go to Matt's Dream Run camp and have that experience. Because the medication's not cheap. The dental, sorry, um, I'm sorry. Yeah, so it's like to give that to someone because maybe that's something that's holding them back. Like, oh, I would do this, but it's, this race
Mhm.
is going to cost me too much money. So if I can help someone else, feel something inside of them, then I want to do that. And I
So
want to, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, don't be sorry. I was just curious. So mission number 1, is fund this thing, right? And then mission number 2 is raise money that you can then give back to others who and encourage them to use their bodies too.
Correct. Yes.
And that's all through donation on your website at this time, correct?
Yes. Well, it's Active with MS is the nonprofit.
Okay. And that's the nonprofit you guys created?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So that's activewithms.org or
.org.
dot
Mhm.
.org, and that's where people could go to donate to the overall, like, the side of things to help others. And then on your website, it would be to help fund you.
No, the Active with MS, the first, like, this is the beginning, so it'll
Mm,
help me, and then
mhm.
after the race, it'll help others. So then
Got it.
it'll just keep going, if that makes does that make sense?
You're
Mhm.
jumpstarting the thing. You're the kickoff.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How big of an operation is this?
I
Like, what do
mean
you need? How much is this entire endeavor gonna cost you?
I mean, I didn't think it was gonna cost that much, but we just bought that camper, or I'm sorry, RV, and those are kind of
Mhm.
expensive.
It's like a small
And
house.
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, and which is nice, but yeah. Um, kinda letting my
Pretty much
husband.
mandatory for what you're doing, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm going to say mandatory for something like that. You're gonna need a facility that's
yes.
portable. Yeah.
Right, exactly, yes.
So all in, what's your ballpark guess for going across the United States?
You know, I think we have, like, after, like, talking with people and like, figuring out, the shoes and
Mhm. Yeah, you're gonna go through a shoe a week almost.
I know, that's crazy. That's that's insane. Um, maybe, like, I don't know, 40,000
Without the camper?
without the camper.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mm.
And so
RV,
do you have a fundraising goal?
40,000.
48,000.
But yeah.
What shoe are you wearing? I can't believe
Um,
Bracken didn't ask this yet.
I'm wearing Brooks right now.
Okay. Um, training
Are they
wise,
involved?
No, I that would be nice.
Have you reached out?
Yes.
Okay.
Still waiting.
training wise, with this, with getting ready for such a massive attempt, any hiccups so far on the injury front? On the maybe I don't want to run this much. Any doubts creeping in, or have we been healthy and optimistic so far?
Think healthy and optimistic. I did have, like, some knee thing back in July, but I think it was more like, oh, I wasn't really doing my mobility before running. It was more like, I just want to go run so I can come back and do what I got to do. And then it's like,
Mm,
oh, Matt's like, are you doing mobility? I'm like, nope. So just taking, like, all those, just having, like, sticking to that schedule. And I feel like now it's coming down to where I have to, like, okay, I can't just, well, I'll just skip mobility this day because I got this going on. So now it's like all coming down to the,
Mhm.
yeah.
What are you most worried about? As a worrier, what are you most worried about?
mhm.
Right. Um, oddly enough, I'm more excited to do this than worrying about it. And which is really weird because I am a worrier. But I
Mhm.
feel like since this diagnosis, I because worry only brings on stress, and stress doesn't help the chronic illness. So I'm trying not to
Hmm.
worry so much. So I think more it's just like I'm excited to do it.
What would, uh, however this goes, what would be classified as a failure and what would be classified as a success? If there even are classifications.
Okay. So I'm not going to say I'm not finishing wouldn't be a failure because the only way I wouldn't do it is if something went bad with my health, and
Mm.
because at least I went out there and tried. But the only thing, like, I joke around with is like, oh, what? Because since we're going through flag, what if I, like, get back to the house and I'm like, I'm good, I'm good, I'm home.
How long will that be at that point?
That will probably be like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, I think.
That'll put the enormity of it in perspective.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god, I didn't think you're gonna sleep in your own like, your home bed one night in this thing?
Yeah. I gotta tell
Oh my
Diane.
goodness.
I don't
Yeah.
think I could do that.
Oh, that's
Because
temptation right there.
yeah. But I guess
How
that
many people how many people do you have along the way already committed to completing portions of this with you?
um just our daughters. So that's
Really?
yeah. And my husband.
Well, you're coming past my house.
Okay. And
So
then
if you're interested, I'll run some miles with you.
okay, that would be great. You gotta go slow though.
Only if you're interested.
Oh yeah, I'm interested. Are you interested?
My first thought is that if I was doing this, I would already have people in every city trying to make this easier on myself, and you say, "No, I'm just there. If my daughters wanna run, we'll run."
Well, yeah, I guess well, they probably won't run. Won't.
Okay, so you're gonna run almost exclusively alone.
Yeah, I mean, I do now anyway,
Yeah. You don't do
but
40
Um,
a day right now.
there has that's true. There has been people that I have told, and they're like, "Oh, when you get to Santa Fe, you can park in our driveway, and, I know the newspaper, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, "Okay." Like, and she literally, like, knocked on my door for something else, and then I had, like, um, the boots on, and she's like, "What
Mhm.
what are those?" So it's just weird how things I'm hoping as this goes on, people will join me, but yeah.
is there the pressure of time for this? Hey, like Betsy, you gotta get this done in 12 weeks because husband has to go back to work or daughters. I guess what I'm asking is like if an injury pops up or heaven forbid you like catch a cold or you like don't feel well for other like normal life stuff.
Yeah.
Like, can we push this thing back or is it like it's gotta be done in a window with your support staff?
Um,
Or
well,
would a
I
week out because of the flu like can be accounted for?
I mean, the older 2 daughters, they'll probably check out at some point, I'm sure, because that's just they're
Mhm.
young adults. Um, my husband does have to get back to work, and and our youngest daughter wants to be in the 4th of July parade again because she was last year. So
Mhm.
she said, "Mom, will we be back for the 4th of July?" And I was like, "Yes." I
Wait, are you
don't
gonna
like
have to drive back?
we haven't worked out all those details yet because I
You're just gonna
told
sell the camper and
that's
fly
what
back.
yeah, yeah, that's what I wanted. I'm sure by then we're not gonna wanna,
Mm.
like, stay in it.
What did Forrest Gump do? He just turned right around and went back the other way, didn't he?
Yeah. I
That's
think
a
you're
totally non-fictional movie.
You're gonna know the route already.
Yeah. Are
That's
you on
half the battle.
Strava?
No.
What?
Mm-mm.
You gotta build a community to follow you on Strava. That would be so fun for people, including myself, and probably get some buy-in. Oh, you
Okay.
don't do it if you don't want to, but I
No,
could
I'll
see
do
that
it.
being pretty cool. You
Okay.
should totally do it. Oh my gosh. Um, all right. Uh, for the sake of time, because we got about 7 minutes tops here. What do we need to ask? What do we need to talk about? What other questions do we have, Bracken?
I'm also
What do you?
starting in March because
Oh,
that's multiple sclerosis awareness month, so that's another reason. I'm sorry, I forgot to say that earlier.
It's alright.
yeah.
It's
My friend slash athlete slash client Diane, is she not like living at your house?
she is going to. Mhm.
So she's going down and she wants to be in flag, and so she gets to sort of house sit and it's a
Mhm.
route for her to get down. Like it is such a blessing for her because she wants to get into the flag community as well. And so it's just like it's working out for other people too.
Yeah, like everything kinda came aligned. Like she just when there was something going on at Matt's house and she was there and oh, I know he was interviewing me. That's what was going on. And afterwards, she just came up to me and she's like, "Oh, I like to help you out." And it's so weird because like everybody kind of wants to help, but they'll just kind of, everyone's busy and has a life, and but they'll give us ideas. You should do this. You should do that. But it's like there's just so much to do already. But
Mhm.
Diane's like, "Oh, I would really like to do this." I can't remember what she said, but I was like, "Really? You want to do that?" I'm like, "That's like, like that's like the thing I don't wanna do at all." Like, she came, she had her notebook, and then I told my husband, I'm like, "We should ask Diane if she wants to, like, house sit while we're gone." And then, yeah, it just worked out. I'm happy, I'm so excited actually that she is.
She's excited too, but that's pretty
Okay.
cool. So, but I'm also losing a client in quotes because of
Oh.
you.
Oh.
She's leaving me. She comes in twice a week and you're so anyways, you owe me whatever that rate is that I'm gonna be missing out on. So you can put a little spot on the donation page for me, that lost income, Betsy.
Okay. Sorry.
I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm very excited about this. Um, in fact, I did this to Diane the other day. She's sort of, I'm not going to say struggling. She's in a life transition and trying to get her to commit to something. And I paid and registered her for a 50K without her telling me to. And she got an ultra sign up notification. It's one in June down there, a
Oh,
50K. So I'm like, surprised you're training for this.
oh
and,
my
and luckily
gosh.
she was happy about it.
Oh,
So
good.
so she gets to go. So you don't know this, but Diane gets to come down, live at altitude in Flagstaff, train, and then this ends about the time your journey ends, and she gets to go run this race. So it's all working out well for her as well. So we're all very
Oh,
excited
good.
about this for many reasons. But
Good.
that's my
Wow.
personal side of the story. Yeah.
I can't believe you did that.
I did that. I did. More to push her off the ledge, not being like, I'm such a nice guy. It was more like, you're going to get it together, girl, because you got a race to do. My bad.
Oh my
So
gosh.
so let's remind people here about okay, the website where they can donate, how they can follow along. Just remind people of that.
Sure. So, you can follow me on TikTok, Instagram at Betsy Runs the US with MS. That's also our website, and Active with MS is our nonprofit where if people would like to donate, they can donate there.
Betsy runs the US with MS on social platforms.
Correct.
Okay. And then what was the website again? Activewithms.org.
Active, yes, correct.
Okay.
That's, yeah.
She's on TikTok, but she's not on Strava. What a millennial.
I know. You know what? Those were our older two daughters. Were like, you go on TikTok, and I'm like, oh. So yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's a whole different world. I'm like, what?
Well, the deal I would like to make with you, and I'm sure Bracken, you agree, is would really, really, really enjoy a conversation when this wraps up. However, whenever to talk about it would be uh, fantastic afterwards, and then of course we'll follow along. I'll follow you right away on socials, and we'll keep up. But you got
Awesome.
anything else, Bracken?
Just what would good support look like to you outside of the
Hmm.
obvious with fundraising? If people do want to be a part of this, what would support look like in a good way to you?
I think meeting up with me on the route, that
Okay.
would be awesome. If people want to run or just to meet, or yeah,
Is your route shared anywhere publicly right now?
it is on the website, and it. My husband did it from Strava, I believe. So, like, you can zoom in, and then it like shows you a video of
And we'll have a way
you
of
guys.
tracking you.
I'm sorry.
We'll have a way of tracking you and knowing when you're
Yeah,
getting close.
yeah. He's got ideas for that too, but I'm
Mhm.
just gonna let him do that
Perfect.
because that's
Well,
yeah.
when you get close to Wisconsin, I'll be ready.
Okay, I'm gonna
Um,
hold you up on that offer.
Where are
So
you entering Wisconsin from?
I guess the West, like, so we'll be going through Madison. So I don't even know if we're gonna go through Dallas. You notice I say Dallas because
I do appreciate that.
okay,
Yeah.
we can
Makes me
say
feel
it.
comfortable.
Yeah, it thanks, right?
They can't say it, but we can say it.
Exactly.
Yes.
People always want to say it though, and it's like, saying it wrong.
You haven't earned that privilege.
Exactly.
I have one last curiosity I should ask you before, and then we're done. I think. What is the longest the longest? Maybe you might have even talked about it yet. The longest training weekend or session, like in culmination of this thing. Have you discussed what like your big last one is going to be?
Yeah.
Do you know what is it?
Mhm. So it's gonna be 3 40 miles in a row, and then just with no rest days after.
And it'll be what, like a month out or something? I am assuming six
In
weeks out,
February.
something. Okay,
Yeah.
a month out. Okay, that's one thing I meant to ask but forgot. So, all right. Betsy runs with MS,
Betsy
right?
runs the
Uh,
US with MS.
Runs the
Sorry, I
US
had to
with
say
MS.
it.
All right. Well,
Thank you
thank
so
you for
much,
your
Betsy.
time.
Thank you both so much. Sorry about the beginning.
No,
But
it's a pleasure to meet you. I look
it's
forward to
great
following
meeting.
this.
Awesome. Thank you. It's great meeting you guys.
Yeah.
Guys.
Good destiny. Well, we'll be keeping up.
Okay.
All right, and I'll see you in May.
All right. Sounds good.
Bye.
Bye. Take care.